For the first time ever, I managed to earn 1,000 euros from my outstanding peer-to-peer portfolio in the previous month. To honor this special occasion, today's portfolio update will be structured slightly differently, as I want to briefly introduce each platform in my portfolio that has contributed to this milestone. In terms of investor assets under management, Piberry is currently the second biggest peer-to-peer platform in Europe. This growth is primarily driven by the Aventus Group, which operates with many international lending companies in the consumer loan segment. Trust in the platform is also strengthened by the high integrity of its partners, who have repaid more than 50 million euros in war-affected loans to investors in less than 3 years. Because actions speak louder than words, the platform is also forgiven for the lack of regulation or the absence of consolidated annual reports from its partners. In theory, Piberry should be a part of every investor's peer-to-peer portfolio. But given the cash drag issues and the lack of supply this year on the platform, investors might be well advised to also look for other alternatives if they want to deploy bigger amounts of cash. Another unregulated platform that had similar issues in terms of loan supply has been ESEE. Also here, the popularity is mainly due to a strong portfolio quality by its lenders, which ensured investors to generate double-digit returns for the fourth consecutive year. The platform's risk management can be credited to both ESEE shareholders, which have a proven track record of more than a decade in understanding how to expand and scale profitable business models in the lending segment. ESEE is clearly a top 5 choice in the peer-to-peer environment, although some patience will be required to allocate bigger cash positions. Income Marketplace is an Estonia-based peer-to-peer platform that has positioned itself with innovative security concepts in the peer-to-peer environment. Even if their claim of being the safest peer-to-peer platform is a bit over the top, a default rate of less than 1% is more than presentable in a cross-platform comparison. Although the platform is still lacking around 10 million euro in its portfolio in order to reach break-even, 2024 has been a very good year to achieve this target by the end of 2025. With a total return of 13.42% after 2.5 years being an active investor, Income is also by far the best performer in my personal portfolio. Mintos is the biggest peer-to-peer platform in Europe, which is why the company owns a special status in the entire industry. My personal experience with the Latvian marketplace dates back to October 2017. While issues with risk management and conflict of interest became apparent after the pandemic hit, I decided to temporarily exit the platform by the end of 2020. After Mintos has become a licensed investment company, the platform has recently transitioned more and more into a multi-asset marketplace. Especially the bond offering is something worth considering, which is why I committed to invest 4,000 euros with Esto. Due to a tailored campaign for new investors, which runs until the end of January, now can be seen as a good starting point for new investors to gather their first experiences as well. Unfortunately, ESEE appears to be a failed peer-to-peer platform given their greedy expansion approach in recent years. After almost a decade of developing a stable business model with mortgage-backed property and commercial loans, the expansion into Germany was followed by its gradual demise. With more than 130 million euros in default, more than half of the outstanding portfolio is currently affected by the poor risk management standards of the company. If ESEE is unable to present a decent recovery performance next year, while more investors will turn their back, even the worst case scenario might materialize in the foreseeable future. Landa is an EU-regulated platform from Latvia, which has positioned itself in the agricultural sector. My personal performance on Landa, after being an active investor for the past 3 years, stands at 9.74% and therefore within a satisfying range. The improved IT infrastructure, auto-invest adjustments, new transparency standards, and a changing focus on loan collaterals are all positive developments that have taken place this year. If Landa is also progressing with loan recoveries next year, the platform will continue to establish itself in the portfolios of many peer-to-peer investors. My personal experience with DeTom goes back to March 2019 when I had my first visit to Vilnius. Since then, DeTom has evolved into a regulated marketplace for business loans whose profile has massively improved since the change of ownership in summer of 2023. Since then, investors have access to more lenders, higher interest rates, more liquidity, and a well-functioning auto-invest. Unsurprisingly, DeTom has therefore achieved an impressive growth trajectory this year. The last concerning issue remains the outstanding portfolio in Ukraine, which will hopefully be resolved next year. Crowdpeer is a spin-off by the Piberry platform, which is primarily used to finance mortgage-backed properties in Lithuania. 2 years after its operational launch, the EU-licensed crowdfunding platform is showcasing sustainable growth while maintaining a stable portfolio quality. The downsides of Crowdpeer are a lack of loan supply and already decreasing interest rates, which have barely reached the double-digit range in recent weeks. Heavy Finance is another platform from the agricultural sector, which is pursuing a slightly different product focus though with its so-called green loans. This means instead of receiving an interest for their investment, investors are compensated by the sale of carbon credits. Although the expected return is promised to be a lot higher, the platform hasn't managed yet to present quantifiable results. Apart from green loans, investors seem to do best when focusing on agricultural loans from Lithuania, while the cross-market performance on Heavy Finance is unfortunately not competitive. ViaInvest has mostly been a reliable and consistent choice for many peer-to-peer investors since 2016. The platform, which is now regulated by the Latvian Capital and Market Commission, has always delivered double-digit returns for investors while keeping a 0% default rate throughout the years. As soon as legal entities from Estonia are able to invest on the platform, my exposure on ViaInvest will be further increased as a result. In terms of history and business model, Twio is sharing a lot of similarities with ViaInvest. In recent years though, Twio struggled a lot to keep up with a high standard in risk management. Almost 3 years after the war in Ukraine has started, the platform seems unable to find a solution to recover 3.5 million euro of investor funds in a timely manner. In addition, also the hesitant behavior in Vietnam could have some serious and expensive repercussions for many investors. The last opportunity remains in Poland, which is not enough for me to stay though, also considering the changing dynamics of this market. On Fintoown, investors can finance development loans and rental units located in Prague. An exciting business model which hasn't caused any issues so far. Due to my intentions of keeping my portfolio rather concentrated at the moment, my investment in Fintoown will soon come to an end. The fate of Fintoown also applies to Lithuanian property platform Profito as well. Although Profito has been voted as the second most popular platform in this year's community voting, I will stick with my current approach to minimize my engagement in too many platforms. With an overall performance of 9.3%, Profito seems to be a reasonable alternative for investors though who want to diversify their portfolio with property loans from Lithuania. And finally, here you can take a quick look at the usual overview of all platforms. As we are wrapping up 2024, I want to say a big thank you to all my loyal viewers and listeners that have kept me company on this channel throughout this year. Stay safe guys, get well into 2025 and we talk soon. So long. Bye bye.